feel like as Black women, we need support in every level of our progression.
Definitely.
You know, not only just in business, but just emotionally, just leaning on each other, because we all had similar experiences or know someone who had a similar experience. Just being there to be an ear to listen. Because a lot of times friends of mine call me and I just hold the phone. I don't say anything. I'm just listening. Just listening, and then
sometimes they just need to download the information.
Yes.
They just need to download
it out loud.
They just need to say it out loud. They don't really need an opinion, you know, or they just need to get it off their chest and put it in a safe space. And if you're just holding the phone, you're the safe space. And because they just need to hear it out loud. Sometimes you just need to hear it. You need to hear it come out your mouth, and then you get off the phone, you be like, thanks, and you're probably like, I didn't do.
Welcome to Keys to the Culture podcast. I'm your hostess with the mostest, Miesha, and this is a place where we celebrate Black creators and innovators who shape the culture around us and give relevance to the creator economy one post at a time. So you know what that means? We're rooting for everybody Black. So what is the creator economy? The creator economy is the economy. It is where creators of all kinds have turned their passions into businesses, brands, and those viral videos we love where you're doing them little dances, they are paying the bills. But today is a special episode because I have my girls here. And we like to call them culture change makers. And I'm going to introduce each and every one of them to you guys with a beautiful introduction and their bios that were like a book long. But here's a clip of that. Miss Eva Sparks, she is a woman trying to live in her full purpose, a mother, a wife, an entrepreneur, and has a 9-to-5, and she thrives in every area of business. Welcome, Miss Eva. Yes. Our second guest is Damiris Gandhi. We like to call her an entrepreneur, a creative art director, philanthropist, and the founder of Peak Money, and her new venture, How I Do Art. Welcome, Damiris. I have to say her name real hard because I love her. Our next guest is Christy McDaniel. She's an entrepreneur, community leader, founder of Children Striving Together, and the Power Legacy. Welcome, Miss Christy. And last but not least, this beautiful woman, Miss Anisha Shorter, an event planner, brand experience director, and the owner of Be Iconical, and so much more. Welcome, Miss Anisha.
Thank you.
Hey, ladies.
Hey, y'all.
See,
It got real serious.
It did. Listen, I have to lay it out. Okay, we got to lay it out for these ladies because not only are you my friends, but I call you guys my sisters. Like, I really enjoy your presence. I love talking to y'all. I love laughing with y'all. We like to drink a little bit. And, you know, it's always a good time we together. So I wanted to make this episode very special and bring these women on here because it's really important for women in business to have a circle of friends.
Yes.
And as we move along through that and we build together, we see our dreams come true together. And we're able to travel together at some point because we ain't book our trip, y'all. But it's gonna happen. But one question I want to ask you guys before we start is, and everybody can ask individually, when did you know that Black creativity was the culture? Let's start with Eva.
For me, it was definitely before social media. Just because of how old I am. You know, I remember when social media was new. You know, I remember when it was up and coming. It wasn't all the way in yet. I'm old enough to remember high school in my 20s without social media. So I think that's when it really started coming full circle. But the thing is, you didn't see regular people doing it, but you saw people who had some type of respect, some type of notoriety, and you seen them giving back to the communities that they came from, and you seen that matter, and you seen them supporting real schools that you knew people who went to these schools. It isn't some off the wall school. You know, like when Dr. Dre went back to the city of Compton in real time, and you know he did something, and you had a couple of people who went to Jefferson High and invested money in that, and so you saw people who had the notoriety, who had the respect, who had the finances, but they learned. They was showing us at the time, who were the younger generation, how they're giving back. They didn't forget where they came from. They remembered where they came from. And that's when you realize we can be an impact. And we can make a difference for the next generation. And that was before social media for me.
How am I supposed to follow this? It's not over there.
That was good.
They look real good. What's up, Damaris?
Okay, I'm gonna try. Let me think about it. I've just always been very creative. Like I've always been a person who just can pretty much do everything. And I think I learned that early on, like just coming from the church. Like the church is very much the type of place where you have people who could sing, you have people who could dance, you have people who can play instruments, people who could preach. And when you grow up just surrounded by that Black Baptist excellence, you just kind of get the notion that like literally any of these people could be someone. So I think that influence just comes from God, of course, but then also just like we all have our own individual talents and we can come from nothing, like regardless of our history or what we've been through, and still shine. And that's just proof that we could do anything. Like absolutely, we are the was.
Yes.
Yes.
Dang, and then I got me. I'm gonna change it up a little bit. I think that the creativity comes from way back when, meaning like back when our ancestors and slave masters was doing things. Because if you think about things that have been invented, pressing combs, the lights, all those different things, that was creative. It was something that people didn't think about. So if you think about our Black inventors and what they came up with and what we're still utilizing to the day, I think that they set the culture very, very high, set the bar very, very high. And now we're doing it here, but in our own way. So I think that, yes, there's a lot going on now and we're getting more creative, but it all came back from what we saw way back when and what we still utilize till today. So
Totally agree.
Yes,
I love that. That was great. That was great.
That was. For me, I feel like I didn't acknowledge Black culture being so creative until I actually dug deeper into my business. Into when I finally stepped full throttle into entrepreneurship. That's when I was able to because I had to connect with you guys, I had to connect with other people, and I was actually able to see wait, there's a Black artist and he's this good. You know what I'm saying? And he's not white because we don't see that. It's not broadcast that Black people are super creative. And to piggyback off of Christy, it's then when I started thinking we invented the rollaway bag, we invented the washing machine. You had to have levels of creativity to get there. So for me, it did take a long time. I did have to actually branch out and start, building my own business and showing my own creativity. And it did take social media to connect with people to see that, but I'm happy that I know now. It's us.
It's us. And we see that online in the news. We see that on social media. We see that at every media touch point. We see Black creativity setting the standard of what culture is, and music, dance, photos, photography, videography, et cetera, et cetera. And I noticed that a lot of other races will just take our recipe and then copy paste,
Don't get me started.
and then they start to make a profit off of it. So
American way.
It's unfortunate, but it is.
Right.
But that's why I'm going to piggyback off of what Christy said too. That's what the beautiful thing is about the internet is they're exposing that. So a lot of people don't know, because if your parents didn't teach you or your parents didn't know, sometimes people are like, well, I didn't know. If your mother don't know, then you don't know. It's just that simple. But the beautiful thing is the internet expresses that and put that in the air for a lot of people, like the people who invented the street light, Garrett Morgan. He invented the gas mask. Like she said, we saw a need and we filled it. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people don't know that Black people created this. Like when they did the movie about the scientists and the women for NASA, a lot of people didn't know that existed. So the beautiful thing is social media has brought that to the front, to the front, to the front of the stage, so people can see it, people can read it, and people can be more aware of it. And therefore, maybe your kids don't know it, or maybe your parents don't know it, but the kids know it. And if the kids know it, they can share it with their parents.
Absolutely.
Because it's like, Mom, this is what I learned on TikTok. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, TikTok? And it's look, she's breaking it down. Parents can only teach you what they know. People have to be very knowledgeable about that. It's like when my mom didn't teach me. Your mother can only show you what she knows.
And schools too.
And schools have a curriculum that they're supposed to follow. But the school board is very, very strategic in making sure they maneuver that curriculum so the students are only learning what they want. And that's why as Black parents, we have to be more proactive in our children's lives to let them know we were more than just slaves.
Absolutely.
And that's very important. But that, like I said, that's a learning lesson that you learn as you get older. You can only teach somebody what you know. If you don't know it, I can't teach it to you.
Yeah.
So
are we all first generation entrepreneurs?
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Yes.
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, on paper.
Oh no,
On paper?
no, I'm not. My mother had her own business.
No, me neither.
Okay.
Yeah, my mother had a daycare.
Oh wow.
Yeah, my mother created a daycare when I was 12 years old. My sister was pregnant and got very, very sick.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom was a single parent. It was just her, myself, and my sister. And then my mom hired somebody to take care of my sister. And my mom was really upset at the way they kept the house clean.
Yeah.
Like, she was like, she's just not cleaning the house right now. She was so frustrated. She was so angry. And she was like, I just have to figure out how to stay home and take care of your sister and still get you through school.
Okay.
So she started a daycare.
Wow.
And she had the daycare from the time I was 12 till my kids went.
Wow.
My kids were the last generation that went. And my children are young adults now.
Wow.
So,
She fulfilled her destiny.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Through the
And
grandchildren.
Yeah, so after my mom, then my sister started her own. It was a hustle, then it became a business, and shortly after I started my event planning business.
Oh, I hear that.
So no,
yeah.
I'm definitely not first generation.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to my family too, because my mom's side, specifically, we have entrepreneurs throughout my whole mom's side. Like my aunties, we own a bar and grill in New Orleans. We also have family members who created shoes. They design shoes. I have stylists in my family, seamstress. That's what I get, friend. And a lot of people on my dad's side is now entering to entrepreneurship, and I get hit up every time for what I need to do, how I need to do that. So my question for y'all too is, as you guys are navigating entrepreneurship, how many times do you get people, family members or friends that are hitting you up for advice and every day? So let's talk about that. So what is that for you?
For me, I mean, I have my industry that I work in, my industries that I work in. So I am not like some of you guys where you help people build businesses.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they come to me, but I feel like they just see like, okay, she's doing well and she's growing, so she knows the answers to this. And I give the best of the knowledge that I can when I can. You know, if not, I'm like, I don't know that much, but here's who do. You know what I mean?
Hello. I use my resources.
Yeah, use your resources.
I send a lot of people to Christy.
Yeah.
I use my way.
Yeah.
I use my resources. They be like, Eva, I want to start a business. I be like, I have the perfect person for you.
Right.
And then I text her, Christy such and such is gonna call you.
Yeah.
I've let them know this is not a favor.
I'm
You
gonna
gotta
start
charge
doing
them. Like
But I
Give
had to get to that point because I used to be a person trying to help everybody
Yeah.
individually, and I used to just pour. And like I really enjoy it, but then there's people like as I got more mature when it comes to just entrepreneurship period, I just learned that there are people who are more equipped to help this part. Like it's not my job. It's my job to know the people that I know so that like I think you called me about something or you text me and I was like, did you try asking Anisha? Because she's in events and she would probably know where you can write this or that. So just knowing like, okay, like being able to compartmentalize your friends that are entrepreneurs and like, okay, I know you're really good at this and she has the time and space to deal with this and I know that you're really good at this and you have the time and space.
Use your resources.
Just use your network.
Yeah.
And we have a strong. I'm blessed to have a strong network.
Same.
Just like I know that if I refer somebody to someone, they're gonna be in good hands.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how important is that to build your network? Because I mean, we met. How did we meet? I know Eva got the answer, so I'm gonna let Eva answer. She knows.
If
how
you say the
all
wrong
of
thing,
us
she'll be like, "No, that's not how."
she wants this baby, baby. All right.
She'll let you finish.
Hey, it's your girl Miesha from Keys to the Culture podcast. Are you a creative building a brand and want to take your business to the next level? Then listen up because I got some exciting news for you. One of the fastest ways to reach your target audience is to promote on Keys to the Culture podcast. Why? Because we have some of the biggest names in the game, from musicians to CEOs to creatives and bosses of all kinds. So this is your chance to tap into our audience to grow your business to the next level. We work with small businesses as well as newbies in the game. So don't worry if you're just starting out, we got you covered. Are you ready to promote on Keys to Culture podcast? Well, click the link in the bio to promote today.
You're so funny.
Well,
I actually, out of all of you, I've known Christy the longest. You know, I've known Christy for a very long time, probably about 17, 18 years. Yeah, Christy was very young when we met. I've always been an adult.
Not like we haven't.
Right. Yeah, I didn't meet any of you guys before the age of 21, so I've always been a grown up. But Christy was not. I remember when Christy was in high school. Christy was very, very young. And Christy happened to grow up in a neighborhood where I had a very close connection to a lot of people. So, in Compton. Yes. Right. So that's how I knew Christy. And then I met Dee after Christy. Social media actually connected us. She had her brand, Pink Money. I thought it was dope, so I started just following it. You know, like, oh, okay, she's cool.
And she
like,
hyped it up,
you know,
too.
I was like, she posts to support other people. You know, and I thought that was cool because I do that.
She used to promote it more than me.
I do.
I be trying to put me
I need you to meet the mayor, but
I'll
the
go
girl
online and
named
they'll
Aisha.
already be mentioned, and I'm like, I didn't even post
I'm
about
really
it yet.
good at connecting people.
Yeah.
So, like, when I saw that you did that, because I do that, I told Christy, I was like, Christy, come to this event with me. I think it's going to be really good. She gives you an opportunity to talk. Tell them about the nonprofit. You know, I said, tell them about the nonprofit. Tell them about Children Striving Together. Christy came in late. She's like, okay.
I was not late.
You were late.
I was not.
You were late.
Oh, you don't remember stories now.
I thought she got
She was not. I was not late.
You weren't that late.
You know how I know I wasn't late.
Into the
You
section
know
of
how
the chair.
you know how I know I wasn't late. This is
How?
how I know your little brain is working a little different tonight. This is how I know I wasn't late. They were still setting up the chairs, and Damaris hadn't even walked in yet.
So
and
maybe
then
I was late.
And then I had, and then Miesha sat behind us. Because that's how I met Miesha. And she said, this is the you proud girl that you need to meet.
You
did. And you didn't know. One thing about me is I'm not late to anything.
You met her at the podcast thing. That's when I put you guys together. At my podcast.
So she wasn't there.
Yeah, she was. She was sitting behind it. She had a mohawk braid.
I did have a mohawk.
She had a mohawk. Yeah, I did say something.
That's good memory,
Yes, I do. And when she said
I still
late,
think she was late.
When she said late, that's how I knew because I'm not late to nothing.
You had a problem with parking because that's when she was over there.
We walked them together. I parked and they even met me and then we walked up. It's okay though.
Anyway,
they met. We met.
I brought Christy to the Pink Money thing. I went to your first Pink Money thing when it was at Cordova's. Remember?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I've been with you a long time. And so, and when I went, we spoke. Yeah, when I went, we spoke, and I just walked away. I went home. I told my husband, I was like, I like her. I was like, I really like her. I was like, I'm going to support her. And then you had the next one because you did them once a month. That's when I told Christy about it.
Yeah.
And then I met Miesha at a vendor event. We were going to support someone. You remember?
Yes.
We were going to support someone. She worked with her, and I knew her mother. So we were going to support, and we didn't talk actually in the event. She was looking for stuff, I was looking for stuff. And then as we were exiting the event, we left. We spoke. You know, she was like, "This was good." I said, "Wasn't it? It was cute."
You know,
we're standing at the end. We're standing at the end of this driveway, and we probably spoke for about 40 minutes.
We talked a cool minute.
Yeah, like we were down there just talking, and that's when I told you I had a podcast.
Yep.
And I said, "Oh, we're doing my podcast event in downtown in December. You should come." We exchanged numbers. You told me about You Crowd.
Yep.
And I was like, "Oh, we should put our tickets through there."
Yep.
I text Dee and I was like, "We're going to be in downtown for the podcast," because she listened to my podcast. And then when she walked in, I said, "I have someone you have to meet." So I took you to Miesha, and I literally gave y'all each
dropped
other.
me off like babysitter. She was like, "This might sit down talk to her."
Yeah, I introduced y'all everything real fast. I was like, "This is Miesha. This is the You Crowd person I was telling you about. So we're not using Eventbrite no more."
That's how she told me.
She
Really did say that. She told me that.
That's literally what I said.
Oh my God.
And then I looked at it. I said, "This is Damaris. She runs Pink Money." I said, "She has events all the time, once a month. She could put the tickets through you, and we don't have to charge."
Yep.
And then I said, "Okay, you guys talk." And then I walked off. It was my podcast. I had to go. And they've been together ever since.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then I introduced you to Anisha.
Yes, you introduced us.
Yeah.
So how did you meet Anisha?
How do we meet? Remember the story, guys.
Why you
Christy's memory is a little off.
No, my memory is amazing.
I think that we met during COVID. We met during COVID. That's when you were doing your You Crowd IG Live interviews.
Oh, I did meet you. Yes,
That's when she was doing those interviews.
Small Business Saturday.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah, I started that trend.
Yes.
So I seen her on it. She's like, "Oh, I would love to like promote."
Yes.
And then
She
I was
said
like,
that?
cool. Yes, she said it just like that. And I was like, girl, come
did not.
on. And she was on there and she was looking so cute. And I was like, ooh, who is this girl? I was telling my friend, I was like, she look good. Who's this? And then we started talking. Send me a picture. And then she told me about Be Iconical. And that's how I met her. And then I introduced you two from the Level Up. Right?
Yes.
Oh,
And then I
yes.
helped her at an event.
Yes.
She had a baby shower, and I was like, if you ever need anything, let me know. And she texted me like 2 days. I really can use your help at this baby shower.
Yep.
And I was like, all right, send me the address and the date.
Period.
And I pulled up,
You did.
and I was there.
And we was there.
Where's my shirt?
I was like, you got a shirt for me? Yeah.
Yes.
And I was like, what you need me to do? And she was like, can you hang? I was like, okay, come on. I said, I need a person to help me.
Yeah.
I said, assign me someone.
She ran it.
And
All of us
then
have worked
she
for
did
you.
it.
yeah. So yeah, that's how we literally
That's
how we
why
met.
this is a sisterhood.
That's how we met.
Period.
We're gonna pull each other.
That's like my favorite part
Hidden the sister.
of
Exactly.
this circle is like we aggressively support you.
We aggressively
Yeah.
do it.
No, we do.
Aggressive. Like it's low key disrespectful.
You better work with her.
What did I say earlier? I was just like, yeah, I gotta figure out where to push on. We got this brush coming up. I gotta figure out where I want you to
And
go.
we need to
not
not
doing
doing
a bit right.
each other's circles because we have to protect each other. So
Yeah.
I'm like, you talking to who
Yes.
and what and no.
Yeah.
And no, you're not.
Now let's talk about that too, about protecting each other too. Because
Yeah.
there's a lot of other people out there
Mhm.
who are here to tear people down,
Mhm.
talk behind each other's back.
Yep.
And you know, it's a lot of negative energy out there,
Yeah.
but we have been able to still maintain our friendship in that. So let's talk about that when it comes to support, genuine support. Like, what does that look like for
I'm
you?
gonna go first.
Yes,
Before
go
you
ahead,
go.
girl.
Yeah, hurry up, get
I
in
was
before
going
you
last.
get in.
I was
Hey,
going
no,
last.
but it's a story too. But genuine support is very important because there's a lot of things that we deal with in our own lives,
Mhm.
personally, and you know all that kind of stuff. So when you know that you have people that didn't grow up with you, it's not your best friend, and you
Yeah.
can build a new sisterhood based off of that, I feel it's important. And the story behind that is, this is how I know this is the right circle for me, and I know that we need to hang out more.
Yeah.
Okay, family.
Period.
We need to hang out more.
You heard it.
But
Hold us
you
accountable.
heard it.
You heard it.
Hold us accountable.
She's our
Which
accountability
camera?
partner.
Yes, but how I knew was we went out to eat. It was me, Damaris, and Miesha, and she know exactly what it is.
Oh my God.
We went out to eat. I won't say exactly what took
Say
place,
inside of y'all.
but just put it like this. I ended up in the restroom crying, and the way the conversation went, I didn't really like it. I was defensive about it and all of that.
You the baby
But then
girl.
I'm actually not. It's actually Miesha.
Is it me?
I'm older than Miesha.
But you're the baby, like baby sis.
But yes, so in the bathroom and we had a conversation, but it brought up like some things that I didn't know or I didn't realize, and maybe she didn't realize, or whatever the case may be. But I think that transparency and that like talking it out and being honest with your friends, like no matter how you may feel about it, but there's a way to it. There's always a way, because some people, they like, well, you just gotta know, or I just gotta tell you. But it's like, no, there's a way to say everything that you want to say.
Yeah.
But I say all that to say, like, I know that I needed that, but I'm like, you need that in your friend groups, but you also need that in your business friend groups.
Yeah.
Because again, I need to know that if you're telling me something, you're not doing this to hurt me for real or to make me feel away
We're not
for
on a
real.
reality show.
So
I gotta tell
even
you.
though we should
yeah,
have
so I
one.
think that genuineness but the transparency as well, but I want you to grow and evolve as well, and I don't want to hold anything back from you, or I think we need that. And there's a lot of people that do the same things that we do right now that we can all go to, and sometimes I'm like, well, why would you go to her if you know I do it? I go to these ladies first for everything because they're my friends. Like, I support other people too, don't get me wrong, and we all do.
Absolutely.
But this is my core first. So if you can't get it or you can't tell me, okay, now I'm gonna go elsewhere. But I think that we need that because there's too many fake people scamming and doing all of that kind of stuff. That's out there. So everyone needs this kind of group. I agree.
The world of coaches and consultants.
Yeah. But I know a lot of people. Like a lot of people.
Yeah. You do.
A lot.
We all said it. You do.
A
You
lot
do.
of people.
Yes. But I feel like everyone is somehow, I have a bond with everyone. Some bonds are stronger. They've lasted longer than others. But when that moment that we had, it was like, okay, it was almost like a reality show. Because it was just like,
I'm gonna go back.
I know.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'll be back. And then I went to the bathroom and was like, the cameras would have followed this.
Right.
It would have been a
would've.
whole moment, but it was really. I'm just always that person who like I don't like leaving things unaddressed. I don't like leaving with like weird energy. Like if me and you have a conversation and I feel like it didn't end with us being like, hey, like I hear you, like I see you. I love you. Like if it doesn't end that way, then it's like it's not. You're not the person. You're not a person for me in particular. So I think the one thing we all have in common is that it's just so genuine. Like and it's easy. I don't have. We're all we all bad. Can I say bitches?
Go ahead, girl.
I still say bitches. Like I don't feel like type of way about it. But anywho, like I feel like we're all very strong, beautiful women in our own right, and we've never been. If you have a support system, that competitive shit, it goes out of the door.
Yeah,
like everyone is special, everyone is individual, everyone has their own gifts and strengths and weaknesses. And if you're blessed to come across people who you vibe with, and it might just be for a season, it might be for like a few seasons, but either way, like just respect it for what it is. Like everyone doesn't have a strong support system, and some people don't even know what real support looks like. So I don't hold that against.
Very true.
I don't hold that against people. Like, okay, if I invite you to something or I say, hey, like it's very rare that I ask for help anyway. So if I ask you for help and you're not able to give it to me, and like it's because you literally, it might be because you literally can't, or you don't have the space or capacity to do so. But it might just be you
don't want to.
You don't want to, and that's okay. Cause
honesty.
I have y'all.
I love that honesty too. Is another thing because I've noticed in my journey, just connecting with so many different people, that some people just don't know how to be honest. Even if they don't want to help you or they don't want to be a part of something, they don't say, hey, you know what? I don't think this is right for me at this time.
Right.
I thought that I can commit, but right now it's not in my availability.
Yeah.
No one, like, it's like some people just don't do that. Or if they just don't want to be a part of it. I mean, it's okay to say that
it's
to
a
each
letdown
other.
too, though.
You
don't know how that person is going to, so you feel like, not saying that you should, but you feel like me, that's my thing. It's hard for me to say no. I'm still working through that, but that is childhood trauma for me. Why it's hard for me to say no, because of things that have happened as a child. So if I feel like if Eva asks me something or Anisha asks me something and I'm like, I can't do it, now I feel like, oh, they're gonna think that I can't. They're going to think that I'm not good enough. So let me just try to do this anyway and to the best of my ability, but that's not always the right way. Because then you don't do it the right way, because you should have just said I can't and bow out gracefully. But what people may think or what people may say, that's sometimes a thing for people, because I know it's a thing for me.
Yeah,
That's
that
fair.
can be.
I feel like you're just going to show up for your people, even if you're tired and you're exhausted. For certain people, I'm going to come. I'm going to do what you need me to do. I'm going to sign what you need me to sign. I'm going to do whatever. Like, I just feel like...
Sign what you need to sign.
Whatever, I'm just saying, whatever it is. Like, I'm really loyal to people that I consider to be my people. So, like, if you need me, I'm going to show up. Now, the day after, please don't call me, because I need to relax. But I feel like Black women, we just, our culture, our gender, we don't know how to say no. Like,
It's hard
most Black
for
women
us.
just don't know how to say no.
It's hard for us because, like Christy said, you feel a letdown or you feel like an obligation.
Yeah.
You feel like if they come into me, I have to do it. I have to show up.
Exactly.
But you do have to teach yourself, as she says, she's working through, to just be like, you know what, I don't have the time to do it right now. And that's the beautiful thing about having a network.
Yeah.
So you can be like, you know what, I can't do it right now, but I know someone who probably could.
Yeah.
Like, just a few weeks ago, Dee's friends they were at a vendor booth that was close to my house. Remember? And you text me and you was like, "This is really close to you. Can you go show up?"
Oh yeah. I was like, what are you talking about?
And I was like, "Huh?" You was like, "They're there. I can't make it. Can you just go show your face?" And it was literally like a mile from my house, and I had something to do, so I was like, "All right, I'm gonna leave early." And I went to the event, and when I got there, I was like, "Well, Pink Money is here because the best I was here." And I showed up, because she wasn't able to, but she knew if I reach out to Eva early enough, maybe I can catch her before she leaves her area, and she can do it for me.
Right.
And I try to do that for everybody. If I can't help you out financially or actually work something, at least I can do is show up. Like for Christy's things, I don't have little people anymore. She knows that, but I will come to the carnival. I'll buy a ticket. I'll be like, okay, Christy, here's the 2 tickets. Go give them to some kids. Because I can't always show up, but I will do whatever I can in my capacity. to show
Yeah,
up. And I think that's what
the
people
part.
need to learn.
That's the part. Because, like, I agree, like, yes, I'm going to try to support everyone. But, again, I know a lot of people.
Yeah.
So if I try to be there for everyone who needed me, like,
girl, you have
what
no
am I
time to
doing?
yourself.
Like, I'm lucky I don't have no kids because they would be
Man.
struggling.
Hello.
Like, so for me, it's there's ways to support. And I know people like to measure support by, like, if you actually came or you actually bought a ticket. Like, it's just so many different ways of supporting. And also, like, I don't care what anybody says, and I'm going to say it. If I supported you at some point in your career or whatever you're doing,
I supported
I'm not saying that it's a blanket support system, but, like, listen, if I supported you in 2010 and I still, you know, look out, check up, whatever, like, you're not going to get the same support when I had nothing on my plate versus now. Right? It's not. It's not realistic, not for me at least. Like, I'm not doing it. And I definitely am coming out of a season of just, like, feeling maxed out and, like, what is the word? What is the word? Burnt out.
She said,
okay.
What is
Burnout or whatever they want to call it, like burnout, whatever. What is it?
It's burnt out.
Is it? I thought you said burnt out, but burnout. Yeah.
She gonna think about that.
When life coaches be saying it all the time, like
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Relax. You can't tell either though.
I mean, but that's real though.
But I get what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? Because, like, in my experience too, like, even on the flip side of that, as entrepreneurs, you may feel like people are not supporting you. That comes up a lot. Because I see people be throwing out posts all the time, and they're talking about, oh, no one supports me and all this X, Y, Z. I'm
Not
like,
disrespectful because I support everyone.
No, we all do.
No, but not now. I'm saying, like, when I see those people posting those things, and I just be like, I'd be like, bruh, like,
I be like, I bought a ticket last week. What are you talking about?
But what if you're not talking about you though?
But that's what I'm
Because
saying.
I just posted something recently, and
But it ain't
damn, maybe y'all feel like it's about y'all.
subliminal to me, but it may be subliminal for somebody else.
Yeah, maybe it was
Maybe
their cousin that didn't.
You know what I'm saying? Like their cousin or someone that.
I was like, how you gonna post it? Okay.
That has nothing to do, like I said, I just posted something like that recently talking about the lack of support and the support that I get that had nothing to do with y'all. Well, you know, y'all
I didn't even
support
see
me.
it.
No, we know.
But I just feel like
I feel like
I can connect with y'all because I understand that if you don't show up or if you don't do something, I understand that you're busy. I'm never gonna hold that against y'all.
Yeah.
It's people that will literally call, like we just talked about, people that call you, can you help me with this?
No.
Those are the same people that will literally not show up, not support, but really have the audacity to be like, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do that? And again, as a black woman, and I'm used to not saying no, I've been saying yes, yes, yes. And then now I'm starting to filter. Y'all show up. Y'all support. Y'all, it's not y'all. But those people that like, I don't even need your support because God got me always.
Amen.
But at the end of the day, you got the audacity to reach out and you don't even call to say how you doing it.
That's not even the first thing you leave their mouth.
Yeah,
You know
I'm just the type of person to where some girl taught me this a long time ago. Like, when you don't acknowledge it at all, like it never happened. You didn't support me. I didn't even notice. And then when you see them, apply pressure. Because what are you going to say if I'm like in your face? It's a totally different energy from you texting me, giving me an excuse.
Right.
So if I'll address it when I see you, and I'm going to tell you how it makes me feel in a respectful way, and let that be that. But all I do is you just have to continue to give God glory for the people that you do have.
Yeah.
Don't y'all start.
Yeah,
Because I'm a PK, y'all.
When you come. I'm just gonna sit still now.
Okay. Anywho, when it comes to support, like, I don't want to stay on this too long, but I just feel like as black women, we need support in every level of our progression.
Definitely.
You know, not only just in business, but just emotionally, just leaning on each other, because we all had similar experiences or know someone who had a similar experience. Just being there to be an ear to listen. Because a lot of times friends of mine call me and I just hold the phone. I don't say anything. I'm just listening. Just listening, and then
sometimes they just need to download the information.
Yes.
They just need to download
Saying it out loud.
They just need to say it out loud. They don't really need an opinion. You know, or they just need to get it off their chest and put it in a safe space. And if you're just holding the phone, you're the safe space. And because they just need to hear it out loud. Sometimes you just need to hear it. You need to hear it come out your mouth, and then you get off the phone, you be like, thanks. And you're probably like, I didn't do.
Okay.
Like, I just
Right. But anyway, I'm
sometimes people just need to download, because you just have so much going on, and you just need to tell it to someone. And hopefully everybody does have a safe space, a person in their life that they can share that information with, and it's private and it stays within that individual that you share.
It's so funny what social media does, because you think about the verbiage that we use now, like download. Like no one was really saying that before, but now we always know.
And y'all got
download
it.
Yeah, we're like download. Right.
Yeah.
That's
So
download is what?
Well, the
I
internet
feel like that
changed
was
it.
more of like an export. Because I don't want to download it.
Okay, I don't
No
want to take it in,
problem.
baby. But I mean, just being with you guys through my journey has definitely changed my life. Because I always say this all the time. I prayed. I'm not gonna cry.
Okay.
I prayed for. I'm not.
I know this conversation.
I do be crying, y'all. I be crying. But like for me, I pray for a group of friends, like. Because I didn't have females
when we
around me all the
met,
time.
that was one of the first.
That was
things
the
you told
first
me.
thing I told her. I was looking for feminine energy because I was always around boys. And my sister can tell y'all this. We've been around boys our whole life. I had all brothers. My sister's the last girl in the family, but there was a huge gap where I was just by myself. So I didn't really have like close relationships with females. My close friends, even my best friends, are always guys. So I was searching for that, and I had such negative experiences with certain females. Well, let me say females, women that I was connected to. Don't say women I was connected to, and once I was able to connect with these group of ladies, I seen a difference. And just using that as like a catalyst for, we pray.
But it
Hello,
it matters though. It really matters because if you don't see a strong female friendship, if you don't see female friendships cultivate and grow, it's hard to mimic something you've never witnessed. So being that you never witnessed it, you desired it, but you probably didn't know exactly how to go about maneuvering to accomplish it. Because you have to see it. And people always say, "Well, I want close friends," but if you didn't see it, if you didn't witness it, your trust factor is different. Your trust
Say that
factor
again.
is
But you know what? Some people also use that as an excuse. Meaning, like, I know someone that didn't have that experience. And so now, when they treat other women not the right way, or they don't go about it the right, they say, "Oh, well, it's because when I was younger, I
not
didn't
taking
know."
accountability
And I'm
for
like,
their
no,
actions.
like you're old enough
Because you're
now.
old enough
Yeah,
now
you're
to
old
know.
enough now
Yeah.
to understand
Right
that
and wrong.
you don't do this. It doesn't matter what happened when you was 7.
But she's using it as a
You're-
crutch.
you're
And
a
if
grown
she's
woman.
going to use it as a crutch, that's not a person you need to deal with.
Yeah.
Because a grown-up is going to take accountability for it. A grown-up is going to take accountability for their actions. So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, actually, I was the only child. I didn't have any sisters, but my mom, she used to have these women that she would either work with or from church, and they would just like take care of her. Like they would give me hand-me-down clothes from their kids because my mom had me a little later in the game. So I saw examples of sisterhood all the time. Like it took me a while to really like understand the depths of it because I don't obviously have my own sisters. But then when I meet a lot of my friends, or a couple of my friends, have sisters, but they don't feel the love from their, like they feel like I'm the sister that they never had. I'm like, but you got
I always
Girl,
I always say that.
Listen, I didn't
that.
learn how to be a sister.
I always
I
say
didn't know
that.
how to be a sister to another girl. I did not have that. So even with building a relationship back up with my sister and learning how to properly be there for her and what she needs and have conversations with her and listening to be like a big sister. She's in the room.
Like,
So I'm talking about you. So like for me, it just was really, it was a change once I started to experience what it was like having a sisterhood. Because the negative situations I had with other women was wild, life changing, trying to destroy my name and my life. So when I started to connect with the right ones, they was building me up.
Yes.
I was like, this is what I was missing the whole time. I was
But you
like,
can't confuse. There's different. Just because it's women and women doesn't mean that it's like they're coming from a space of sisterhood. There's some women who kind of want to be your mama, and then there's some women who kind of want you to mother them, and then there's like this auntie energy that's like unhealthy. Like there's
not always
there
a
are
sister.
unhealthy
don't be
women.
my auntie now.
There's unhealthy female like family dynamics that I'm not familiar with, but I've seen it where like
this is your mom said that to you, and I'm just like, it's
Girl.
everyone's experience is different. Some
Yeah.
people have super nurturing, so when they meet people, that's the female
That's the
bond that they
energy,
have
yeah.
with people.
And that's
Like
when
me
they
and
give
my
off.
mom were
Mhm.
super close. I'm her only child, and my dad wasn't there, so it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
me and her. She's very nurturing to me. I'm very nurturing to my friends.
You
Like
are,
I would
yeah.
come, people would come over and I would make sandwiches, and I was like,
Or order them food.
it was like
No, she
12
makes-
years
she gonna-
old.
she gonna
cook.
Well,
Yeah.
she right, I ordered
And make
everything. I was
your
making
drink.
Exactly.
And
her
make you
coochie
drink.
boards
She just
and
let you sit with the
everything.
dog.
Yeah.
She take complete care of you.
Right, my
They
dog
take care
is
of
the same
you.
way.
But
Like,
I get that too.
Yeah.
People think that I'm nurturing. They always get the mother spirit. Like,
but that's like your mom. You and your
yeah,
mom.
my mom are
close.
very close.
Right.
So when I have
And
friends,
your
I'm
mama
like,
pray.
what do you need? What do you need, honey? Like, I'll cook for you too at my house. Like, I'll be like, I cook a meal. What you need right now?
Pancakes.
So I had pancakes and breakfast and whatever.
I got pasta.
You can get a
Well,
good prayer
you
too.
come
like,
over.
right?
We gonna pray. We
All
gonna
that.
cry. All that. But it's just so important just to have that,
Yeah.
and it makes a difference.
is,
It,
yeah.
in your words, it matters. It really does matter.
It does.
So as far as business, how do we all get started in business? Because I have a long story and I ain't gonna hold you. But how do we all get into business? Where did that come from? Come on, Nisha. I feel like you got an answer right now.
For me, I mean, I feel like my entrepreneur story is so traumatic because,
Traumatic.
yes, I started in business before, like, social media. Like, I think MySpace was the only thing that was popping.
Mm.
So I was 18 at that time. That probably just gave my age, but whatever.
It's okay.
Whatever.
And I literally just fell in love with like wedding planning. Initially, it was weddings, and I wanted to do that. And I went, got the business license, went to the school, did the everything, and then again, this sisterhood and these resources that are here for us now were not there.
Yeah.
They were not there. So I didn't know anything besides getting a P.O. box and getting a business license. I didn't know LLC. I didn't know any of that stuff. So and then my family didn't either. So I had no support at all. So I had to just kind of push it to the side for a while.
Mhm.
And like, my family was just kind of like, you need something that's going to like secure you for the rest of your life. So I kind of just drifted off from it, got some other degrees. And then after I finished my schooling, I was like, I'm going back to my passion.
Yeah.
And that's when I came with the Champagne Wall, brought that to LA. I was the first to do that.
Come on.
Documented.
You
Yes,
better say
is.
it.
Look at the dates, okay?
Yes.
It's your her story.
It is. And then just doing that event rental kind of really just like, you're ready for it. And I went full throttle with event planning and connecting and growing. So,
I love that.
yes.
Yeah, and be iconical. How you come up with that name? Let's talk about the name.
Okay, so my little alias has always been Beauty. That's like
Period.
through high school. Even my Letterman's jacket says Beauty on the back. So that's just my name. And then when Instagram came, I was like, Iconical Beauty. I think I got the iconical part from Amber Rose because Kanye West called her iconic. The name, I just love it. And I was like, okay. So I came up with Iconical Beauty. And then when it was time for me to come up with the name for my business, I just wanted to keep myself present in my business. Without showing my face. I don't know if you guys see like on my business page, I don't really show my face. I really want my work to show for itself.
Absolutely.
So that was my way of still putting me in my business without physically putting myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you've been able to build a lot of relationships with different people.
Mhm.
Like, I've seen you grown over the last year with your relationships. So how important was it to connect with people in kind of like the same space, and how has that benefited you in a business as well?
I've connected with a lot of different people because in the event planning industry, you have to. If somebody comes to you and say they want a flying pig, you got to go find the pig and find the wings and find the person to put it together.
Okay.
So
The wigs or the wings?
flying pig,
Bye.
all of
I heard
it,
wigs.
all of people come up with crazy things. You guys have done events, So in the process of trying to execute all my clients' visions, I've had to talk to several different people.
Yeah.
Thank God I connect well with people and people, grow to me.
Yeah.
So that's how those relationships kind of flourish. That's how I met y'all.
Absolutely, period.
So,
And Christy, you do everything under the sun.
I love you.
Chrissy is that lady in the church.
amen.
I just need my hat. I just need my hat.
You need a fan.
I need that too. Where is it?
Listen, and speaking of Christy, you do a little bit of everything. I feel like Look, you a community leader. That's what I
Christy
do.
been dope since the
She's
beginning.
been dope since the beginning.
beginning.
So how did you get started? Where did that come from?
Well, growing up in Compton.
well.
No,
Up in Compton.
you know, I love to talk about Compton.
Absolutely.
But no, so I started the nonprofit, went to Cal State Long Beach, decided to start the nonprofit because I was volunteering, because I'm a helper and giver at heart. So I was volunteering all the time, and everything that I did, I liked, but I didn't love. I'm like, man, I need to create this myself. So I didn't know, just like you. I'm like, no one was doing nonprofits like that. They were out there, but not like they are today. They're very trendy. I use that a lot when I talk. They're becoming trendy. But yeah, I just kind of went to the library, did the research, started the nonprofit. Didn't know what I was doing, but like I'm finally in year 10 of the nonprofit.
Wow.
It is just
Come on.
yeah, clap it up. No, but I'm just like I'm still learning. I'm still understanding. But because of that. So I'm like, okay, the kids are good. Every time I want to throw it in the towel, I want to give up, a little kid texts me, Miss Christy, won't we? Dang, that mean I got to keep doing this because they're dependent on me. So, and they need it. So I'm like, okay. But in the midst of that, I saw people would come to me. How do you start a nonprofit? How do you do this? So I'm like, well, shoot, let me just think about something. So I came up with the Power Legacy, March of 2019. It's the reason why it happened in March of 2019 because I was like, well, shoot, I'm going to just do it as a DBA. I don't know what kind of money this is going to make. I don't know what it's going to do, but I'm going to just do it as a DBA.
That's a safe commitment.
Yeah, exactly. Let me put my big toe in there, but like not all the way. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it that way. So I did. And I was already helping a lot of people do nonprofits for free. I wasn't charging. I'm like, this is how you do it. Here go the paperwork. There you go. But then in May of 2019, I got laid off my job. And I was like, I will never get laid off another job. Please. Like, this is not happening again. So I started doing the LLCs and the nonprofits. And the LLCs was like, I was getting those like hotcakes. Like, because it's cheaper, it's easier, and it doesn't take as long. And there's no commitment, meaning you don't need a board. You don't need all of that. So I'm like, all right, LLCs. But then I was doing the nonprofits. And there were two different prices. But I started getting coaching. Because I was like, dang, I don't have no money for coaching. These people are charging $10,000, $7,000. Who got that money? I don't have that. But you know what? I invested in my friend that had just started her coaching business. And we know it's cringy when we think back to when she first started. But when I tell you what she's doing now is amazing. So I invested in that. And she's like, you know what, Christy? You need to step out. You need to niche down. You don't need to do LLCs no more. And I'm like, nah, I get them the most. I'm trying to do LLCs. But I realized that nonprofits is me. That's what I'm supposed to do because I love helping people, but also I want you to set your nonprofit up the right way. I don't want you 10 years in the game, 7 years in the game, trying to figure out how to get funding, grants, money, and all of that. I want you to know going into your year 2. And I say going into your year 2 because year 1, you are putting it together. It's not year 1, first month, you got $10,000. It doesn't work like that. But when I was like, I just got back into therapy and stuff, and I just met the lady. It was my first time, and I was dealing with something, and she said, let me tell you how I know your passion and your purpose is nonprofits. She said, you're talking to me, you're telling me all this stuff about what you're dealing with, and you crying, you sad. She was like, but every time you talk about a nonprofit, you light up. She was like, and I don't even know you, I don't think you realize that you're doing that. It's like it's off and then it's on. So now I'm moving to where I don't even want to work with individuals that want to start nonprofits. I want to work with the leadership groups that already have nonprofits, but it's a mess. And I did that because I was working with Compton College, and they were like, Christy, like, you don't work with leadership groups? I'm like, how do you start? Where they at? Because they're the ones that's paying. The people that are starting nonprofits, they don't have the money. They like, when can I get a grant? Oh, I got the 501c3 grant. Like, no, we gonna take baby steps because
let them know too that you're a grant writer.
Yeah, I'm a grant writer. I am a grant writer. I'm a grant writer. I'm a strategic planner. I do everything that deals with the nonprofits, and that's my end goal is to hire my amazing crew to do all of the paperwork, and I do the coaching, the strategizing, and the speaking. And yeah, so I love it, and I'm smiling now because I just love it. So yeah.
Oh, Christy.
So yeah, you know, I just got to make my grandparents proud. Even though you guys know too,
Yeah,
you haven't met them, but my grandparents were my everything. So anytime I do something, I think about my grandfather first, because my grandmother, she had dementia, so she was gone a while ago, even though like not present. But my grandpa, that was my dog. Like he was my everything. So anytime I do something or I want to be mean or whatever, I just think about his spirit, and he'd be like, "Now, Christy, you know, you just leave them people alone, but you can't, you know, I can hear that all the time." And his birthday was yesterday, so
Happy birthday,
yeah, so you know, so you know, Prophet, you need me, I got you. What the price?
Period.
You know,
I got in when she was born.
When I was trying to figure it out.
God knew my pocket.
Yeah,
As soon as I got that EIDL loan, I was like, Christy, I'm ready. Here you go.
And for you, I seen.
You, come here. Yes, you. Have you been struggling to stay consistent with your content? We've all been there. You told yourself you was gonna post about a year ago, but you have yet to post today. But don't worry, I got you covered. Introducing the Ultimate Content Calendar Blueprint. It is a guide that will show you how to stay consistent with your content for the next 30 days and beyond. It's filled with tips, tools, and ideas to help you take your content to the next level. And guess what? It's completely free. So don't wait, because it's gonna go out fast. So make sure you download the Content Calendar Blueprint today.
Man. When I met Damaris, we just immediately started talking business. Like we were at the bar, and we were like, she was shopping for what was it, Amazon for a table or something.
I was looking for furniture on Amazon,
and she was like, "Oh, I'm about to get this." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And it was talking about business, and then she started telling me about Pink Money and all the amazing things you do. But you so much more than just Pink Money. So how did you really get started? Because I feel like you can do a little bit of everything.
I can't. Like, I just saw a post today that kind of like made me feel validated, because it was just like, it's okay to have a bunch of ideas. Like, it's fine. It's perfectly fine. Mm-hmm. But you have to, you know, nurture each idea in a special way and allow yourself to, you know, maybe now is not the time. Maybe it's for someone else. Like, that's also a thing. Like, not every idea is meant to be carried out by you. I started entrepreneurship, just like Anisha said, like, as soon as I graduated high school, I was like, I don't want to work for nobody.
Period.
I don't like that. I worked at Annie Ann's Pretzels in high school. I worked at Coffee Bean, and I also worked at like Burlington Coat Factory. Each job I was like, I don't like that either. I was like, I like coffee, I'm gonna work here. I'm like pretzels, I'm gonna work here. And then it just would, in the same way, like when I started doing makeup, and I was doing like everything that I've done, I've been successful at, like on any level. Like even when I did makeup for that very brief time, I ended up doing makeup for Precious, which is an Oscar-winning film. So it's just like, even when you do things, and you might just do like a little bit here, I feel like the way that my life was set up, it was honestly to be almost like to let other people know, no matter what you do, there's a lane for you. Mm-hmm. If you want to do makeup, if you want to be in the beauty industry, if you want to be a nonprofit, like you can do all of that. Yep. Yeah. And like Anisha said, there was when I started entrepreneurship, it was in the MySpace era, and there was no social media, and like on MySpace, all I was doing was showing my not my actual titties, but you know, the cleavage was out. But so when I first started, it was actually a sugar daddy, who was an entrepreneur that told me like, oh, what you're doing is great. Like, what you're doing,
is that how you sound?
That's how he sound. I mean,
sound like that.
That's how he sound.
And I can imagine what he looks like with that sound.
He's actually black.
Oh,
like, he's black.
I'm surprised. Yeah, I'm surprised.
Because you know,
happy for you.
You know, so he was the one who told me like, oh, you need business cards, you need this. Like, he was actually the best support system a girl could ask for, because I was always me. Like, I wasn't that kind of sugar baby. I was very much like, sir, how could you help me do the shit that I'm trying to do?
Right.
So, he was very like, okay, you need business cards, do this. Oh, you need a LLC. Like, I knew what an LLC was, like, straight out the gate. But there was no, he told me about the SBA, which was helpful. But back in the day, it just used to be like old money. And like people from corporate America were the ones that were supposed to be our mentors. And I was telling them about apps in 2005, and they were just like,
that's not realistic. Like, and this is like some retired man, white man from Mattel telling me this. And it's like, if you're a true visionary, you kind of have these ideas that come to you even when they don't necessarily make sense. And like, it's always been a part of me. And there's so many different things. I think having different ideas and different things that you're into is good, because you can kind of see like different perspectives of everything that you do. Like, how will this person perceive me? How would I partner with this business? Like, if I got an opportunity with a brand that supports this type of mission, like, how would that connect with what I'm doing?
Yeah.
So yeah, entrepreneurship was never an option. Like, this is it. Like,
This is life.
This is it. This is where I'm at, and it's led me to you, beautiful people.
How you feeling, Miss Eva?
I'm chilling. I've been listening.
Come on now.
You know when you just
this the boss lady right here. So she just being very modest. Very.
I get it.
I'll name all her businesses right now.
No,
I'll
we
name
need
every
them Eva
business
numbers
right now.
So Miss Eva, you have done a lot.
Yeah.
And you're doing a lot now, and you're very successful.
Thank
And
you.
you're
She's so
amazing,
funny.
and the zeros in my account is many. So how did you get started in
Instagram
entrepreneurship?
captions. Okay.
Was that a caption?
Yeah, before the page got deleted. Well, for me, entrepreneurship was a very different route. It was a very different road for me. I had my first son, my first child, my son, when I was 24 years old, and I had my daughter when I was 26. I was married when I was 26. So life for me was a lot different than everybody else. I was a young mom. I had to, I had 2 responsibilities and a husband, and we needed to figure things out. So I am one of those people. I come from the generation of the 9-to-5ers.
Yeah.
And to this day, I am still a 9-to-5er, a very successful one.
Period.
But
That's right.
Yes.
I'm glad she said
successful one.
that.
Yeah.
But I am a 9-to-5er, and so one of my biggest phrases or my mottos for people, because social media for women my age or mothers or people who have other responsibilities, social media make you feel like, oh, you're an entrepreneur, you can't have a 9-to-5.
Yeah.
Oh, if you're a 9-to-5er, you're not giving it all to your business. I believe you can have a 9-to-5 in a business that thrives, and I've said that, and I've always said that. I'm one of the first people in my circle who started vision boards. I started vision boards back in 2012, like 2011, 2012, and like using Christy's work, they're trendy now. So I don't do them. I'm done. I don't do them anymore. I'm not on trends. That's not how I work. But I've always wanted to see people win. So I got into accounting at a very, very young age. I was an AP clerk for a 9-to-5, and I learned a lot about accounting. Numbers are very easy for me. They're very natural for me. And so now I am a very successful accountant for a business management firm. Like I said, I still work a 9-to-5, and I have quite a few different, you can call them businesses, you can call them hustles, whatever you want to call them. I have lucrative.
I have them.
I have multiple ways to make income. So one of my first businesses, which is why Anisha and I get along so well, was event planning. I fell in love with wedding planning. And that's what I did. So I was a wedding planner for 7 years. One reason I'm able to be so successful is because I have a very, very good support system. My husband is absolutely amazing. We love I love Hosh too. My husband's super supportive, and the way he described us is actually very funny. He says, Eva's the entertainer and I'm the curtain puller. He said, and I'm okay with that. He was like, I don't want to be on the center of the stage. He said, we're going to, that's accurate. Yeah, that's very accurate for us. He was like, we're going to walk in a room, everyone's going to know my wife. He said, when we leave, she's going to say bye to everyone. And he's going to be like, come on, Eva. Let's go, grab your ass out of here. Let's go, Eva. And I'll be, all right, bye. So, and that's how he describes us. So for 7 years, in my early 30s, I started my event planning business. And like I said, I did that for 7.5 years. Christy knows I planned quite a few events for her. And then I pivoted from event planning because I wanted to do something a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
I went into the vision boards. I started doing the vision boards very heavy. I was not just throwing them throughout the year. When I first started vision board parties, I felt people needed guidance throughout the year, so I had them quarterly. And I did checkups and I did emails. Christy was there, so she got the email. So I would email you like, hey, it's the second quarter of the year. Are you focused on your vision board? You know, because I wanted to see it through.
Right.
I didn't want to just talk to you in January and leave you hanging.
Right.
You know, it was a structure I wanted to do with the vision boards, and that's when I came up with one of my phrases where you establish, then you elaborate, and then you execute. And that's how you
E3, baby.
E3, and that was my second business. So my my event planning business was Eva's Eloquent Events. So then when I went from party planning, I took it and kept E and just put E3. And so it was either Eva's Eloquent Events or E3, where is establish, elaborate, and execute your vision. So I, obviously my name is Eva, so I rode with the E. All the way through. I rode with the E all the way through, and then throughout that time, my husband and I have acquired vending machines, ATM machines. I'm a part owner in quite a few different businesses in the city of Inglewood at this time. What else do I do? I still hold my 9 to 5.
Where's her crown at? Where's her crown?
I see it.
It's right there. You don't see it? It's right there.
Yes,
I see it.
So then I was gonna open right before COVID hit. I was gonna my husband and I was gonna open up a hookah lounge in the city of Inglewood. It was called Spark It Up Hookahs. My maiden name is Sparks. So we was gonna have Spark It Up Hookah. I did the whole LLC thing. Being an accountant, I know how to open up an LLC or a business of any sorts. So COVID hit. Well, our grand opening was March 27th. COVID hit March 14th?
Yeah.
Like March 14th, March 15th. So we had the space, so we were renting the space until July, and then by July of 2020, we were lost. I didn't know where COVID was going. I didn't know I didn't know what direction the world was going in. So at that time, I pivoted again, and we became the first mobile hookah service in Los Angeles. And not only did we become the first mobile hookah service, we also served tobacco, which was not just tobacco. It was tea leaves. So if you wanted to entertain, but you didn't really smoke hookah, or it wasn't your thing, you could smoke the tobacco. And it was literally nothing. Your chest wouldn't hurt. You wouldn't cough. You're just sipping on something that's flavorful.
That was my favorite.
Yes, you did like it. And I did the mobile hookah for about 1.5 years, maybe 2 years. I did very successful with the mobile hookah. I actually had a lot of athletic clients because during the seasons of their sports, they couldn't smoke, but they were still throwing gatherings. So they would have, the hookah, and then they would smoke the tobacco. That way they could pass on drugs.
Right.
So, we did that for a while. And then shortly after that, that's when I became more involved in the city of Inglewood and started opening up business in the city of Inglewood. And, I bought a couple of more vending machines, a couple of more ATM machines, and that's where I'm at now.
You forgot one that's still available on Amazon. Is it on Amazon?
Oh, yes. And throughout all that, you're so right. That's horrible. And throughout all that, I did successfully publish a book. I do have a book on Amazon. It's called 10 Keys to a Successful Argument. Just a little gem. I've been married 21 years. This year will be 22 years. So I just feel as a person who got married very young, had children very young, and still married and actually very happy in my marriage. I think that part is very important for people to see. We're actually happy. I love them, but I like them.
Absolutely.
And I think that really matters. And so I wanted to write a book to let other people know how to do it. And the book doesn't just navigate you through romantic relationships. It navigates you through work relationships and friendships. Because you can. It's 10 keys, to a successful argument, but there is a method to get there, and you have to know how. Because nowadays we live in such a generation where young people are quitters. They're like, I don't want to do this no more, I'm out. And that's like, damn, like, okay. And then time passes and they've worked it out. It's like, well, you could have worked it out
From the
6 months
beginning
ago.
ago.
Why would you and then now it's like he got this baby from another woman, or all this drama. It's like you didn't even have to break up after all that. And then it's like, what was the breakup for? I don't remember. Okay, that was a problem. So I just felt it was a method to the madness to help people. And I am a published author on Amazon, and I do have a book. You're
and
right.
I like how you mentioned your relationship.
She gonna say it.
Right. You're going to have to
You
put
gonna
that
say
in
it,
there. But when it comes to relationships, like having that balance, like a lot of entrepreneurs, we struggle with.
It's not easy.
It's not.
It's not easy. And also for me, I wasn't an entrepreneur first. I was a wife first.
Come on.
I was a wife
Say
first,
it.
and I was a mother first. I became an entrepreneur in my late 20s, early 30s. So I was married before, all that, and I worked, and I understood my role as his wife and as their mother, because I had 2 very young children at the time. My children are grown as hell now, but they were young back then. So I did have to learn the work-life balance, and not only did I have to learn the 9-to-5 work-life balance, I had to learn when to give my business time.
Yeah.
And then after I gave my business time, I still had to give my 2 young children time, or at this time they're maybe tweens.
Yeah.
I still had to give them time. I have a son and a daughter, so that matters. They both need me in different capacities, so I have to be available for them. Mind you, I still have a husband. I'm still a sister. I'm still a daughter.
Yeah.
And I'm still a friend.
I was like rolls on rolls.
Yes, I have quite a bit of roles in my life, but I love them. I've learned to balance them, but at the same time, something Dee said earlier is she was pouring. I have learned I can't constantly pour without being refueled.
Yeah.
And if I have to shut down to refuel, I will. And it took me a long time to do that. Like Christy said, you feel so obligated, to always be there. And then some days I wake up, I'm like, I'm done. Like I am depleted. I don't have it. I don't even want to think about it.
There was one
You
period
say
where
that.
you would send me a text message like ahead of time. That's why I love you. You're just like, so I'm not doing shit for the next 3. Like I forgot how long. It was like 3 weeks or something. And I was like, I need a break.
Sure.
And I was like,
she did.
yeah, I need a break. I respect it. I knew not to ask you for shit and not to hit you up. Like I'll check on you.
And I was a concern when I'm like, what's going on?
I was like, she
Have
just
you
needs to
heard?
recharge.
Yeah,
Right.
I needed a break. I think we were on vacation.
Yeah,
it was like on
right.
vacation. Yeah, you had a lot of stuff. It was like your vacation. You had like your best friend's birthday. Like it was a bunch of stuff.
It was a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
The
and,
kids too.
Yeah, and then you have to remember I was a caregiver for my father-in-law,
Yeah,
right? While he was, in hospice. So it was a lot. I was going through a lot between 2021 and 2023.
Yeah.
And so I had a lot of roles to play, new roles that I had never played before.
Yeah.
To be a wife to a husband who had sick parents. That was a different role for me in my life. So I had to figure all that out, and that's when I learned, when I'm done, accept it. I'm done. Like
done.
you're tired. Let's chill out.
Yeah.
Like let's chill out right now.
And that too is a balance too, because sometimes we start to overwork a lot.
Yeah.
And I've been there before. Y'all see, I be tired as hell.
Yes, you do. Making a
It's
TikTok.
hard.
I mean,
though.
Yeah.
You said making a
Sliding through the
TikTok. She up here making a
well, I'm
TikTok.
gonna make my TikToks now.
Sliding through the camera.
And I go viral. But what I'm saying is, like, when it comes to like a balance of knowing when to stop, because I've been there before. I was like panic attacks, like trying to get it together, because we are taking care of ourselves. Like when you are an entrepreneur, you're the one that's getting the money, and if you stop getting the money, then your rent is
your bills.
gone.
Your bills don't stop.
It is. And so
Yeah,
it's
your
really
bills don't
hard
stop.
to
You
kind
gotta
of
get
keep
out
that
of
back.
there.
Wait, can I get out of there? So it's really important to like have girl.
And you have to
It's-
figure
it's
out
really
what
important.
refuels you. I think that's important
Right.
too.
Like,
Like,
you said
rest
before, I was
refuels
just like,
you.
yeah, because everybody's is different.
It
You know,
is.
on how to refuel. Like some people are saying, "Oh, I went to the spa, I had a sound bath,"
That don't do it
and
for
then
me.
Girl,
some people will be,
white.
and then
I was
you
gonna
know,
my eyes was like, that's somebody else's.
and then some people, they want to go somewhere tropical and have a good time and free flowing drink. So you have to figure out actually what replenishes
What
you.
is your rest?
Like, what is it? What is your rest?
Yeah.
Because it looks different for all of us.
Mhm.
You know, and you have to acknowledge that and adhere to it. You know,
Yeah.
and do it. You really
And
have
your
to
body
do it.
gonna tell you when to stop.
Oh, it'll
too.
shut you down. It'll shut you down.
Because you get
Yeah.
sick, you tired.
Oh, yeah. It'll shut you
Your
down.
body will tell you when it's time to
Yeah,
stop.
it'll give you signs, and if you don't listen, it'll be like,
Oh, it's gonna be
okay,
a hard
you
stop.
You won't stop.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
a hard stop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then you go to the
Yeah.
hospital
want
or
that.
something. They're like, you're dehydrated. So I drank water yesterday.
What are you talking about?
Exactly. So you have to listen to your body and be mindful of that. And it's more than just a work-life balance. It's just a life balance.
It's a life balance.
You know, because you have to have it in all aspects of your life, and it's something you have to constantly and consistently work
Yeah.
on.
And if your health
Yeah.
is not well, you can't even enjoy the benefits of having
Of your
a successful
labor.
business.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You can't even enjoy
So
what
who
you're
wants to be
doing.
sick in a bed when
Yeah.
you got 6 figures plus in the bank, but you can't get out of
You
bed?
can't do
No,
nothing.
That's
And you
not-
know, like the Paul Mooney always said, you've never seen a Brinks truck behind a hearse. You know, you can't
Come
take
on.
it with you.
Can't take it with you.
No, never. So, you know, be mindful, you know, how you spend your time. Because this is it. This is all the time we got.
Yeah.
So spend it wisely.
And I
Be
love
smart
how you
about that.
said too, you still have a 9 to 5, but you're still able to be an entrepreneur. I always tell people, everybody is not a owner. You're not a business owner. You're not the CEO, but you can contribute to a team.
Yeah.
You can be someone who can invest in other streams of income. And multiple streams of income don't mean you have to have 5 different businesses.
No.
It could be one establishment, but having multiple streams out of that business as well.
And then be mindful of what that looks like.
Yeah.
Vending machines are passive.
Exactly.
You know, people are like,
Nobody's
oh, that's what
retiring.
has, huh?
Like nobody's retiring off of one.
Yeah, you're not gonna retire. Like, I
Just be consultant. Stop lying to these
It
folks.
doesn't work that way, you know. So
Okay.
get a passive, you know,
Yeah.
side hustle, especially when you work and you start off,
Yeah.
and just learn it. You know, learn it, figure it out. And people have to realize when you're a business owner, and people are so quick to tell you, quit your job, quit your job. I need this business to take care of me and itself.
Yeah.
And that's not easy
Yeah.
in the first few
Exactly.
years of a business. So don't be so hard on yourself, and don't always look for others to validate you.
I was just gonna say,
Hello.
people have to also stop listening to everybody.
Exactly.
Because just
Yeah.
like you said, there's so many people that try to put you down
Mhm.
because you are working.
Oh,
a 9
I
to
get it
5.
all the time.
I went to
I get it all the time.
Yeah, I went to an event and this girl, like I was a speaker and I probably ruffled a few feathers, but hey, because when she was speaking, she was like, if you work in a 9 to 5, then you at the bottom. That's how she
Oh,
said
I
it,
get
right?
that all the time.
When I went up there, I said, I'm going to correct her. And she was over, it was her event. But I felt like that needed to be said because it's all these people in this room and they're learning and observing and all of this stuff. And you're going to tell these people that you're at the bottom and half of them that's sitting in these seats working 9 to 5. I'm
And
like,
you're gonna pay
no.
you're gonna pay that rent?
Yeah, I'm like, no. I'm like, don't listen to that. I'm like, I wanted to say don't listen to that, but I said I'm going to correct
As you
her.
should have. As
I
you should
said,
have.
if you work a 9 to 5, you are just as great as a person that has a business.
Most
But
definitely.
there is checks and balances to everybody, to everything. Because if I'm the founder and owner of McDonald's, I cannot flip the burgers, get the accountant, go clean the toilets, go make sure outside is
you
clean,
take a team, you
make
take
sure
a
I
team.
get the inventory done. Like you can't do all
You
of that.
cannot.
And some people will also say, if you don't, let's say I did flip burgers, then and I kept that role for 26 years, you're not growing and evolving. But they may be okay with flipping burgers, and it doesn't mean
Right,
that they're
and that's
not growing
okay.
and evolving here. They may be doing it somewhere
don't know
else
what
that
they're
you
doing
know nothing
somewhere else.
about.
Exactly.
No,
I really hate and despise individuals that are like these coaches
Mhm.
that want to tell everybody everything, and they go viral. And we
Christy,
know
I
a couple
get it
of
all
them.
the time.
Yeah.
You tell me, Eva, you should quit your job.
One
You should quit
person,
your job.
one person in particular,
Yeah, we probably
like
know the
back
same
when
person.
entrepreneur was like a thing, like
Yeah.
coming in, everyone
Mhm.
wanted to quit their job and
Mhm.
work, you know, be an entrepreneur full time. And she used to just get so upset. Like she used to be on social media like, and you gotta be working for the man and da 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 da. It was like,
The man paid my bill.
The man paid my bill.
it's not even that. It's like honestly, the easiest part, the part of my life that was the easiest for me to be an entrepreneur, like I didn't really have to ask for anything or I didn't have to hustle for clients, was when I had a 9 to 5 because I
Yep.
could then take that money and invest it in my
Invest it
business.
back.
And
Yes.
like I could pay somebody to do X, Y, and Z instead of trying to do it myself and keep my client base. So like I
Less
never
stress. You just go home.
and let's be
Man.
honest, some of these people that we have as clients are just as bad as working for someone.
They
if
are.
You're punching a
No,
clock.
they are.
Like you're
Now
gonna
you're
work.
talking.
You're
This
gonna
gray
work
hair
for
right
somebody.
here.
You're gonna work for
I know
somebody.
exactly what client it came from.
Let's talk
You're
about
gonna
it.
work for
saying.
somebody, and so it's like, yeah, you could work for yourself.
Yeah.
You could work for yourself and still work for people. You
Yes.
could work
Yeah,
a 9 to
exactly.
5 and still end up doing entrepreneurial shit.
Most
Like
definitely.
everything. People have to get out of the mindset of like entrepreneurship doesn't have to look like that. And I think now we live in a time where you could literally get a job getting paid more working for someone else, but actually doing what you would
love.
do for
Yeah.
doing what you love. Like it's
Yeah.
a beautiful time to like you can pick and choose. Like either you want to get a W-2 or you want to file 1099. Like
Okay.
you figure it out. But
Most definitely.
it's a lot of things have changed, and a lot of the people that were probably telling people to quit their jobs, like they're
Yeah.
probably looking.
Let's check and see.
Well, well, we in a recession.
You can most
And then I'm
definitely
sorry.
have a 9 to 5 in a business that thrives. I believe that, I
Absolutely.
say that, and I live that.
Yeah.
I have always had a 9 to
That's
5.
true.
It's just another stream of income.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I-
It's
I
just
have-
another, like,
Yeah.
I think that people just stop the titles. Business
Yeah.
owner or working with somebody else. How many streams of income do you got?
Exactly.
Whatever you got to
That's
do to
one
do
of
it.
mine.
Like,
You know,
It
To
doesn't
live the
matter.
life that you
Yeah.
want.
To
Because
live the life
everybody
that you
has
want.
whatever
Different
your
life.
vision of success is. Because everybody has a different
I
vision
love
of what
that you
that
said
is.
that.
Yeah,
Yes.
because some people they enjoy just having a very
Mhm.
mediocre life. They good with a certain amount of income.
Not
Well,
mediocre.
you know,
There's some people
There's
Relax. Some people like to be unhappy.
No. I'm not saying unhappy. Let me correct that. I'm not saying unhappy. So let me correct that. What I'm saying is certain people like a certain lifestyle that works for them.
Yeah.
Some people enjoy to have a life where they love their 9 to 5 and they're okay with that.
Mhm.
And then there's other people who want a more extravagant life, or they may think what their vision of success is
Exactly.
is to have a multi-figure business.
Yeah.
Me, I like a certain particular lifestyle,
Yeah.
and I want to travel when I want to. I want a very wealthy leisure lifestyle. So that means me traveling when I want, and I'm able to work as I travel.
Mhm.
So that's for me. And I can do that in a 9 to 5 as well. There's a lot of big corporations that we work with that
Very
I
flexible.
do. Yeah, they're very flexible. You can work remote. I mean,
Thanks to
pandemic.
COVID. COVID helped.
Yeah, COVID
helped.
helped with
A lot.
creating a lot
Yeah,
of
COVID helped a lot. with that.
Yes,
Yeah.
a lot of remote jobs.
Yes.
And for me, even working in the space that I am, where I do multiple different contracts, working in government contracts, state contracts, city contracts, I'm able to travel and do that work.
Mhm.
I don't have to be in an office, and that's what I enjoy. I spent
They don't know I'm in Jamaica.
right.
I'm working. I'm getting my job done.
So I spent over 16 years in corporate America, but I knew that was not the vision for my life. That was not where I see myself. I knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur since a kid. I would sell pencils to my classmates. I would sell
Look at
candy.
How much did you
to
sell
the
something
kids.
for a quarter?
Look, it was a 25 cent. You get it for 15 cents out of the machine and sell it for double. So I used to do it
and
when I
they
was
were
a kid.
stolen.
And no, they weren't stolen. Sell it for double. Sell it for double because you got to make a profit on that dollar. But when I was a kid, like I did that when I was a kid, so I knew that
It was
I
in
wanted
you.
to be in business. The entrepreneur word wasn't even in existence at that time.
No.
So that is a new term that we use. So for me, like it took a while for me to get there because I worked through corporate America trying to figure out my life, got a degree, and still didn't like what I was doing. So it took me a while to get there, but when I did, it was like, oh, this is what I love to do. I love to be creative. I love to help other people build businesses. I love to like work in tech and how I can improve people's businesses through tech and how can I teach people about different jobs. So it opened up a different world for me being independent, and I can make the going. Like you can make a lot of money doing what I do. And for those of you who don't know, I am a consultant. I have a marketing agent called The Brand Suite. Shameless plug. And I work with a lot of big brands and a lot of brands that I didn't even tell people about. Like I told y'all some of them, but I've worked with a lot of big brands and I'm able to help them create. So what I do is help creators create brands and help brands engage like creators. So I teach them how to create a social media presence so that they can turn those leads into sales.
Okay.
So a lot of times people don't know how to do that when it comes to entrepreneurship, but you all been able to leverage social media to create sales. So what was your practice and what ways that you kind of create that streamline to income?
Consistency. You have to be consistent on social media.
Okay.
You can't look at it as pleasure.
It's work. It's work, and that's why they have so many platforms now to help you work. You know, so
It's a job.
It's a job. You have to be like, okay, I'm gonna do this post at this time. You have to be strategic. It's work. You know, and you have to stay on top of it.
Yeah.
You have to, or it won't be successful through social media. It may be successful through word of mouth or something else, but not through social media.
What was the question?
Girl, I didn't hear it.
How did you streamline your social media?
Okay.
To
That was the missing
income.
piece.
Yeah,
I was
baby.
just like, streamline income. Oh.
How you do that? Because you're on social media.
Honestly, I think I see it as just another form of networking.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I'm not the type. I'm one of those people. Like, I don't care if your business, if it's $1 million company, I'm sliding in your DMs. And I feel like I learned that through Twitter. Like the moment that you connect, like, you know how like back in the day, like celebrities, they still do it now, but they used to just like randomly follow whoever they want. They're real reckless. Like they would just talk to whoever. Yeah. And once you connect with someone on social media and you see that they might have something that you can use for your brand, or this is someone who I would want to patronize my business. Yeah. Like you have access to that person, not maybe full access, but if you guys can get a genuine connection going and maybe spark of a conversation, it's literally a tool for networking. At the very least, like the content and all that, like that's a huge part of it. But also just the way you do your content connects you to whatever audience. It could be clients, it could be people who have the base to your clientele. Like it's just so many different ways where you could like allow it to work for you. For me, it's just networking. Yeah. I love to support my friends, and a lot of people will be like, "Oh, I saw that person on your page," and then I just started following them. And now I'm, they're my, I'm a client. I paid her. I paid her her invoice, so I hope it works out. And I'll be like, right.
And I don't like it. Like creative part, I don't. Miesha knows my struggle. I do not like social media. I do not like posting, so I don't streamline it. I don't streamline through any of that. I streamline through another person. I let the other person do it. Meaning, like, I'm going to hire someone to do it. I'm going to get a social media manager to do all of that, because I always say I'm not creative, and people say, stop saying that, Chrissy, because you are. But I'm speaking of when it comes to putting these posts together, putting all these images on there, little words, and these captions. I do not like it. I go and I come and I'm not consistent. Yeah, and I'm not consistent on social media. My nonprofit is consistent because there's a marketing team now. It's like 5 of them. So they do great. So if you see the consistency on there, it's not me. The Power Legacy, it's not consistent. I'm working on it. I promise you, every day I strive and work to be on there and talk to the people more and more. But a lot of the streamlining for me comes through word of mouth. Yeah. A lot of people tell people about me.
I tell everyone.
And that's how I get the clients. And now, you heard it here first, maybe second, because I did a podcast yesterday. But I do have an affiliate program now. Okay. And it's going to be rolling out. And people are so, like, the people that I have talked about it, which is like close people, they're like, well, why would you do that? Meaning, like,
send me my link.
I will. And it's if you pay in full, this is what you would get. And if you pay in payments, you're a client that you told about, pay in payments, this is what you would get. But for me, it makes me excited to know that I have this, because for one, whoever refers someone to me, I don't know what they're going through. They may need a light bill paid. They may not have no gas in their car. This may be a job for them. You keep referring to me. Why would I not pour into you? Because without you, I wouldn't have this client. And then the streamline of income that I'm working to get, I wouldn't have. So like I streamline through other ways, not social media, but I promise you, check me out in like 2 weeks, because I'm working on my
another stream of income, y'all.
Yep. Y'all must have let them know. So.
For me, social media, I'm not good with it. I was at the beginning, but now, like, there's so many things on my plate. It's very hard to juggle. Yeah. It is it's hard to, if I'm at an event, it's hard to be present and
take pictures.
And run. And I'm running an event, like the last event that I just did, one of the vendors, like, she came up to me and she was just like, girl, I just want to tell you, I see you. I see you. So I'm walking around getting content for you. Now, she's been paid to do something completely else and was like, I see you. Like, and I'm like, okay, that just made me feel like, well, thank you. I appreciate that. But it's like, dang, I really need somebody to be like, not just here to capture what I'm doing. Yeah. Somebody else to go and post it. You know what I mean? Like, it's so many things. Like, I always tell people,
You
like,
should have been like, now post it. And
Now post it.
yeah, like, can I give you my login? Because it's like, I tell people, like, if you look at a place like Kaiser, it takes how many people? Not just doctors and nurses. They need a marketing team. They need a film crew. They need somebody to post their commercial. They need somebody to do this and do that. And it's like, as entrepreneurs, we're that same company. I gotta do all of that too. So as one person, it's just a lot. But like the posting that I have done, it has helped me generate more clients. But mainly, it has been word of mouth. Mm-hmm. It definitely has been word of mouth for me too. So,
well, speaking of social media, the beautiful thing is I have an ebook coming up that's going to teach you how to schedule out your social media content and also how to build a brand and how that translates through your content. So stay tuned for that. After this video, we're going to make sure you get that link so that you can get the free download and also the link to our paid ebook when you will know everything you need to know about social media. So your girl will have some comments from these ladies on this panel today that will give you some tips and tools on how to use our social media to convert into cash. So before we go, we want everybody to share their @, their website, and how everybody can get in contact with you, starting with Christy.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to use Power Legacy. So you can contact me at _the Power Legacy. And my website is www.thepowerlegacy.com. And if you are in need of a nonprofit, strategic planning, grant writing, whether you are a for-profit or a nonprofit, you can email me at info@thepowerlegacy.com. And for those discounts, Keys to the Podcast is going to be your term that you're going to use. I'm sorry. Keys to the Culture Podcast. Keys to the Podcast? Is that what you
Yes.
You know what I meant? You know what I meant?
Okay, for me, you can find me on Instagram let me first of all say that my business name is Be Iconical, just the B, and then the iconic, and then the AL. So at Be Iconical with 2 L's. Website, same, beiconical with 2 L's.com. I do event planning. I've just started doing public relations. Beautiful. I've also started working with alcohol distribution so I can get sponsors for your events. I also do artist management. And
right.
I also have journals that I sell on Amazon. I have Amazon where you can purchase things through my preferred list because I've sourced out the vendors and stuff. So did I miss anything?
No, I think
you got it.
You did
Okay.
it. That's all you did.
Yeah.
Be like Miesha. It's just like when you start getting into it.
Yeah, you know how
You know what I'm saying?
Just like, then I have this.
that role.
Look at
It's
this.
a wrap.
So my main focus right now is Pink Money Inc., which is a nonprofit 501c. Thanks to Christy. This is big sis energy. So if you're a person who just wants to be put in position and have that sisterhood component to your life, I think sisterhood, as we talked about before, is super important. Just when you're starting your business and when there's a lot of weird energy when it comes from, no offense to the men who know how to keep it separate, but when it comes to just, there's some female predators out there. But if you have that sisterhood, it's like 10 times easier to just have the sisterhood that you need. Like, we have very, very genuine women that are a part of the organization. Like she said, when she came to the meeting, it was an automatic, hey, you need to come to this. And it happens every meeting, whether there's 5 of us, whether there's 30 of us, it always happens where it's like a genuine, people just automatically connect the dots. Like, you can automatically see who you want to work with, who you'd want to be, collaborate with, who you'd want to come to your events. And we never have to beg people to support each other. As women, we just kind of step in where we're needed.
And what's the website for that?
pinkmoneyinc.org.
I love it.
Because it's an organization.
It's an organization. Miss Eva.
Let's see.
Which one?
That sounds real sexy though.
So my social media was deleted actually. I was taken off. Yeah, they took me off. So I'm back. And I tried to keep it as close to my last one. It's not a business page, it's my personal page, but it's fine. You can reach me there because I check it. So it is Evolution. So it is EEVA_LUTION_. I had to add the last underscore because they wouldn't let me get my name back. And then you have access to my book, on my actual Instagram. You can click the link, it'll take you straight to Amazon, and it'll
Amazing.
take you straight to my book. And like I said, I believe in having a 9-to-5 in a business that thrives. So if you're somebody who want to have a conversation or you want to talk and you just feel a little depleted and defeated out here because nobody is supporting the fact that you have a 9-to-5 and responsibilities and you're still trying to do a side hustle, hit me up. We can talk.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, ladies, for joining me today. This has been Keys to the Culture podcast with my sisters. For more information about us, go to @Keys to the Culture podcast on all social media platforms and go to our website, keystotheculturepodcast.com. Until next time, we'll see